Hello, and in this video we're going to discuss the correspondence between reading notes on a staff and where they are located on a piano. This is going to help us determine a couple other properties later on. So let us first review the things that we've discussed so far. So let us begin by reviewing the treble clef and those things associated with it. So for a clef, remember, it's going to be 5 lines, 4 spaces. And the treble clef has the design where it has the closed circle down there, and it sort of loops around this note here. So this note here is G5, and the note of interest is going to be down here, which is C4, which some people refer to as middle C. Also, recall the bass clef. Again, 5 lines, 4 spaces. And the bass clef design has the design where it has the closed circle there and the 2 lines there. That line's a little bit long. And again, 2 notes of interest, namely this one here is going to be F4, and then the note right above it is going to be C4. And keep in mind that these 2 notes here are the same. And there's also another clef that we discussed, which is called the C clef, which defines wherever you want the middle C to be. So let us assume I want C4 to be here. So if C4 is going to be there, that means the C clef middle is going to be situated along there. And then everything around it is going to be the same. So that means if that's C, that's going to be D, E, F, and G. So this is going to be G5. And then if that's C, then this is going to be B, A, G, and then F. So that's F4. So that's pretty much all these things, and keep in mind these notes in green are the same. So now let's bring up a piano picture to pretty much describe where to find all of these things. Alright, so this is a standard piano setup. And let us pretty much define where everything is going to be located. So the first thing you want to do is find 2 black keys. And the one, or the white key, to their left is C. So 2 black keys. So 2 black keys are located here, 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 and here. So that means the white key that is next to it, namely here, 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 this one, this one, this one, and this one, these are all C's. So we're going to call this one C1. This is going to be C2. This is going to be C3. This is C4, C5, C6, and C7. So that means this note here, this is the middle C. And notice that the C is pretty much in the middle of the whole entire keyboard. So that's where the C's are located. Okay, so let's see if we can describe the rest of this keyboard to see where all these notes are located. So let's bring up our keyboard again. Alright, so let's start here with this C. So this is going to be C1. So what are these notes to the left of it? Well, this is going to be B1, and this note right here is going to be A1. So A1 traditionally is the lowest note that you can play on a piano, and reasons for that by its design is based on the type of sounds we can distinguish when we hear them. Like, can you really tell the difference between 2 extremely high-pitched notes when they're so high, almost out of the audible range? Most likely not. So this is just some basic ideas why they designed it this way. Alright, so if that is C1, then what is to the right of it? So this note here is going to be D2. Next to it is going to be E2. Then it's going to be F2. Then it's going to be G2. And then of course we cycle around. Next is going to be A2. Then it's going to be B2. And then finally, we've looped back around to the white key to the left of the black keys, which of course gives us C2. And you can pretty much go all the way up the whole entire piano if you desire. So for example, if we start here, that's going to be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Of course, going linearly up the whole entire piano is very easy to determine where things are. But most of the time, especially if your focus is going to be piano performance, you should be able to pick any note here and be able to identify what that is. So if I want to figure out, okay, what is this green? Well, I can say, well, that's of course equal to C, so that must be B, and that must be equal to A. Or if I were to choose, say, this note here, I can say, okay, well, if that is C, that's going to be D, E, and that must be F. And this can continue onwards. So now let us pretty much match this with the staff for which we are interested in. So again, let us bring up our piano. And let's assume we are interested in finding a couple notes of desire. So let's start off with the treble clef version. So let us assume I want to find this, this, and let's say this note. So what are these notes again? Well, this is going to be C4. This is going to be C5. This is going to be G5. And this up here, this is going to be F6. So let's see if we can find these on the piano now. So middle C again is right here. So this right here is going to be middle C, so C4. So C5 is going to be located here. And G5 is going to be located where? So another good note to memorize is the Fs. So C's are located to the left of the 2 black keys, and the Fs are always located to the left of the 3 black keys. So that means if this is equal to F, then that means this is equal to G5. And if that is true, then that means after C5 is going to start the 6th sequence. That means this here must be F6. Now let us practice with the bass clef. So let us assume that we have this scenario. Suppose we want to find this value, and this value. Alright, so first off, well, what exactly are these? So remember that this right here is equal to F, and this right here is equal to F as well. And we can use these as basic examples. Alright, so if that's F, then the next easy note to identify is, okay, well, if this is one note below, then that means this must be equal to E. Well, E what? Well, usually this is F4, so that means this must be E4 as well. Alright, so where's our middle C at? So this is our middle C, C4. That means this right here must be equal to our key F4. So if that's F4, that means this note right here, this is going to be E4. So that's going to be identifying one of the values that we care about. Alright, so let's move down. So if that's E, then that must mean this is going to be equal to D. This is going to be equal to C. And the one below it is going to be equal to B. So that means this is B what? So this is going to be B, let's see, C4. That's going to be B3. Alright, B3 is where? Well, if this green is C4, then that means this value is going to be C3. And that means B3 is going to be located here. So that's B3. Alright, so now let's move to this lower one down here. Now what is he? So remember, if you're familiar with the treble clef, then everything is shifted down one, right? So if this used to be a C in the treble clef, shifted down one whole step, that means this is going to be a C. But which C is it? So remember, on our bass clef, this value here is going to be C4, and then this value is going to be C3. That means this value is going to be C2. So if that's C2, well, where is that exactly? Well, recall that this value here is going to be C1. That means the next C in sequence is going to be C2. So that's what this value here is. Now, if you want to be a professional piano performer, being able to switch between reading and locating is one of crucial things, and there are several exercises of how to sort of become comfortable with that, which we'll eventually get to. But that's the main correspondence between being able to identify a note on a staff and being able to identify where it lies on a piano.